Welcome and thank you all for joining us today for our panel discussion on navigating change, how to strengthen your network after the DZS transition with FIBRAIN and HALNy Networks. Here to present from FIBRAIN, their R&D and Active Department Manager, Mateus, their Area Sales Engineer, Regional Manager, Mohan, and representing Winncom Technologies, our Fiber Product Manager, Alex Cernick. If anyone has any questions throughout this presentation, please feel free to add them into the chat and they'll be addressed at the end of the presentation. Gentlemen, you're up.
Dawn, thank you very much. Fantastic introduction as always. And then for those of you who are joining, thank you again for attending Winncom's panel discussion. So today we've got a fantastic panel discussion with FIBRAIN talking about the HALNy product. As Dawn did mention, we've got two individuals. We've got Mateus and we've got Mohan from FIBRAIN. But we're getting a lot of questions on our end from customers asking about this. So let's kind of start this off with the big elephant in the room, Mateus. So DZS's exit has a lot of operators scrambling, for lack of a better word. How have you seen the market responding so far, and where do you think the biggest gaps are?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation for this webinar. As you know, DZS was a very big company. They had quite wide range of product portfolio. So on this webinar, I will just focus on the product lines that are quite close to our company profile, so which is fiber optics and especially passive optical networks, GPON and XGS-PON solutions. Yeah, so I think that at the beginning we should remind a few facts about the DZS. Yeah, so first of all, in the past there were two separate companies. So there was Zone Solution from US and there was DZS Network Solution from the South Korea. Yeah, in 2016 they merged together and the new company was established, called DZS Zone Solution. Later on it was renamed in 2020 to DZS. Yeah, why I say that, such short introduction about this company, because based on the contact with our customers, some of them may don't know that there are still two separate lines of the products. Yeah, for the OLTs. Yeah, so we have, let's say, a traditional system from Zone Solutions, which is MXK family for the OLTs, and there is another OLT series V called Velocity. So this is the line of products which is typically from the DZS Network Solutions from Korea. Yeah, and as we know, the DZS announced this year about the Chapter 7 and this bankruptcy process. Of course, you know, if we are talking about how market react to it, honestly speaking, it is not something that happened immediately, suddenly, yeah, because such rumors about the bad financial situation was a long time ago. Yeah, so at the beginning of last year, we already heard some rumors that there are some financial problems. What is more, even because our company take part on some exhibitions in the US, so even from last year, we got information from customers. We have met new customers that came to us and said, it looks like there are going to be some problems with DZS. We are looking for some alternative solutions. Yeah, do you have anything that could cover our business? And this is how we can also separate the customers. Yeah, so we can separate the customers for the people who, let's say, heard the rumors and they decided that this is the good step to look for the alternative solutions. And we have customers that, you know, they were a true believer. Yeah, so they were believing that, okay, there are some rumors, it will go on the good direction, there will be no problems. Yeah, but as we can see right now, based on the feedbacks and based on the communication with some of our customers and also from our new customers, it looks like for them it was, let's say, maybe not a tragedy, but it's they were very surprised. And what they say to us is that there was a problem, especially with the communication, yeah, because there was a problem with deliveries, of course, of the devices. There was a problem with lack of support, but the biggest problem was that there was no any, let's say, official information from the distributor. There was no answer what is going on and what will happen, and when, especially when the support can be provided again, and when they can receive again the devices. Yeah. So honestly speaking, for us as a HALNy and FIBRAIN company, for us, such situation was a very good point. Yeah, because this is, let's say, this is the second example in our history that, let's say, some problems around the world, like for example, it was in the past with the COVID. Suddenly, people stopped focusing on the devices that they use on the network, but they started looking for some alternative. Yeah. So for us, it was, it was a very busy time, because much more customers started to looking for the interoperable solutions.
No, fantastic. And I can tell you from a Winncom perspective, just from a customer requests that are coming in, I'm seeing customers from the US market, from the CALA market, from the MIA market. They're asking about lead time and availability on DZS products. For those customers, right, and a lot of them are starting to potentially transition away from DZS, what are the first 2 or 3 things they should prioritize?
First of all, they shouldn't panic, yeah, because fortunately for them, there are companies like Winncom and HALNy, FIBRAIN, that can secure their business, yeah. So what is more, we can provide the solutions. Even if there is a problem with the devices, we can provide devices that they can use on their network, yeah. So first of all, if I can suggest something, they should look for the alternative solutions, yeah. And if I may suggest another thing, they should start from looking for the interoperable ONTs.
Excellent. And that's one of the things we'll talk about in great detail throughout today's panel discussion, is how DZS can seamlessly work with the OLT solutions, how their agnostic ONTs even recognize the MAC address. So again, if you have any of these opportunities or DZS in your network and you're looking to rip and replace, we've got a fantastic product with the FIBRAIN HALNy that will provide equivalent capabilities in a lot of cases at a much more aggressive price point. So just changing our trajectory for a second, Mohan, bring you into the fold. FIBRAIN, and one of the big reasons we brought you on at Winncom was your was your passive optical infrastructure, your OSP fiber. Can you walk us through how your product lines up and can help future service providers with their builds?
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to give you a short introduction about FIBRAIN. Yeah, so FIBRAIN was established in 1993, so the company is almost 31 years old. And the initial primary business of the company was focused about only electrical cable. Yeah, and then over the years, it changed its business model and moved into the fiber optic industry. By then, it was rebranding itself as FIBRAIN. Initially, it was known as Elmart. At the beginning stage, FIBRAIN was started to produce basically accessories, fiber optic accessories. So we started with jumper, patch cords, some pre-connectorized solution. And then in 2009, the company we just decided to actually establish our first R&D lab. So we had 2 optical towers to draw, which is about 46 feet. So we had 2 of them. We started doing R&D on optical fibers. And then in 2013, we opened our first fiber optic production cables production manufacturing center. And what we saw was in 2015, when the market was hit by the lack of fiber. So the business of FIBRAIN was basically impacted because we were purchasing bare fiber from, of course, obviously, the top vendors. Yeah. So it impacted our sales. With the years of experience on the R&D which we had, we then decided, the board actually, so it's a family-owned company, so it was a very fast decision that they made, that with the experience we have, we shall be independent. So we then actually opened our own chemical factory in 2020, which now we make our own preform and draw our own fiber. So we are completely independent, and we can guarantee deliveries and supply chain in this case, because we control the entire supply chain from A to Z. And then we got Vario Edge, which is basically part of FIBRAIN Group itself. This company is basically supporting customers in foreign market with professional service and technical expertise. They actually help build network for customers. Yeah? So they offer including network designing, planning. They also do installation as well, and they conduct also training for field technicians, so splicing, blowing, all of this. And what is more, they actually are able to build you a complete build of material. So when it starts from a scratch project, so they are capable of building the entire network, which type of installation methods shall be used, and what are the FIBRAIN product that best fits in this. So it comes as a complete solution. And obviously today is the hot topic which we're going to discuss is HALNy Networks. So HALNy Network, which stands for High Availability Local Network. It's by FIBRAIN, a European vendor, which was established back in 2018. Obviously, Matthias will give much more details on that. We focus on passive optical network and fiber to the home terminals. Yeah. So the key objective is basically, as we discuss over this whole discussion, is basically to supply modems that are vendor agnostics, enabling interoperability with a range of OLTs. So HALNy is solely owned by FIBRAIN, and it was actually established by FIBRAIN to actually provide a complete turnkey solution here. So from passive up to active, so we can come in a comprehensive solution.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And with the use of FIBRAIN, both with the HALNy product on the ONT side and with your OSP offering for aerial barrel or conduit-based deployments along with the fiber adjacent accessories that go with it, plus what Winncom can offer from an infrastructure perspective, we can certainly put together a complete turnkey solution. Now, in some cases, if this is, I think Mohan, you mentioned at the start of the project, we also have some capabilities here too. From high-level fiber designs, we've got firms we can work with for pre-engineering services. So if you need OSP engineers or permits or right-of-ways or PE stamp drawings, that's something we can absolutely help assist with. And then we have and maintain a network of construction partners that are regionally based. So again, if you are looking to implement these projects, or let's say you're new getting into this with experience in wireless and you're looking to transition over to a hybrid solution with fiber, Winncom has you covered. So Mohan, one more question for you. Can you expand a little bit on your offering and how it extends past passive optical components and what our listeners can do and understand about your full capabilities?
Sure. So as I mentioned, that we are completely independent. So we offer basically a full comprehensive solution globally. And FIBRAIN is established in over 80 markets. So each market has their own different requirements, different specifications. So as I mentioned, that we do from A to Z. So from the fiber preform to drawing fiber, manufacturing fiber optic cable. So we have got telecommunication basic duct cables. We've got ADSS cable. We've got air-blown cables, which is one thing which FIBRAIN really focuses on and specialized on. Then we have got the connectivity, which comes under the pre-termination solutions. So we've got full AXS cables, different types of patch cords, multi-patch cords. So for data centers, different length. And then we've got the distribution part of it, which is basically cabinets, fiber enclosures, which we have the capability also to customize plastic products. Just because we have the capability, we have our own plastic molding center. So we are able to customize a completely new product. We have our own engineers in-house who can design completely new products. And then we've got also passive optical solution, which comes under the category of optical splitters. So we can do different housing, different types of wavelengths, which is required in different conditions. Of course, active equipment, which we're going to actually fully focused on. We've got then photonics. Photonics is basically a very sophisticated product line. It's only focused on R&D and research center where products are completely non-standard. Everything is customizable, so they need probably specialty patch cords with different wavelengths. It's just specifically tailored to any R&D projects. And then we have FTTX, which stands as a solution itself. So we've got solution called Adtran solution. So that's like for over installation. So we can provide you with fiber optic cables, the closures, the ensuring clamps, the complete solution, you know. So that's part of it. Then we've got Metrojet that comes under the air-blown fiber. So micro ducts, enclosures, outside plant cabinets, all of this. We've got easy access cable, which is called for indoor solution for multi-dual buildings. So coming from the cables, indoor cabinets, and then customer outlets, so all of this. And then finally, structural cabling system, which we launch, basically it's copper, but we have our new concept, Lego concept, where you can actually have fiber and copper in one U. So that's our new high density solution, which we have. So we basically can provide you a complete comprehensive solution. So as I mentioned that we are present at 80 markets. So every market has specific needs. You know, we can offer something which is standard from our portfolio, but however, there are some tweaks always been requested. And we are not a company that are quite crazy about the minimum order quantities. Especially when it comes with metal, we are happy to do as much as 50 pieces. We are able to even do a customization, completely new solution. Yeah. And when it comes to plastic, of course, it involves the mold. So that's a bit different story. But yeah, we are quite open and we like to follow through the customer from the start till the end of the project. So that's how we actually approach the market.
No, fantastic. So if you, again, have DZS ONTs, we can certainly provide an apples to apples conversion in regards to what HALNy can offer. But don't forget about us when you're looking at your OSP networks, as Mohan just went through. Again, depth and breadth. Let us know how we can be of assistance. Mm-hmm. So moving towards the HALNy ONTs, Mateus, with so many operators that are tied to legacy DZS networks, how does HALNy support that smooth transition, especially in terms of that ONT interoperability?
Yeah, first of all, one of our biggest advantage of HALNy is interoperability. Yeah? We have implemented so-called adaptive OMCI stack. So it means that on the one firmware, we have hidden interoperability with different OLT vendors. Yeah, and for now, we have proven interoperability with over 13 OLT vendors. So as you can see, the number of OLTs are quite big. What is more, such interoperability is hidden just in one firmware line. Yeah, so we have, let's say, we don't use separate lines for each OLT vendor and so on. But when we do, for example, IOP for Cambium or Iskratel or any other vendor, such IOP goes to the official release. Yeah, so even if we have, for example, one project for one customer, and we prepare some additional IOP, later on such implementation goes to the official release. So that means that also other customers on the new firmware release, they will receive such IOP. Yeah,
that's amazing. And again, we get a lot of requests for that as well. People looking for Calix or Adtran. So can you spend a couple moments and break down how the HALNy ONTs integrate with these major vendors? Again, referencing Calix and Adtran. And I guess the million-dollar question is, what kind of testing or validation is done in the real-world environments?
You know, honestly speaking, all of the IOP that we did in the past, all of them are based on the real network. Yeah, so all of them are based on the customer requirements from the real network. Yeah, so as you can see on the list, we have proven interoperability with Calix and with Adtran. If we talk about the Calix, of course, Calix has different management systems like CMS or Axos, SPX, and so on. So we did IOP with all of these systems. So basically, when the customer wants to use some, for example, HALNy products on the Calix OLTs, they can configure HALNy ONTs exactly the same as they configure the Calix ONTs. Yeah, so because Calix has a bit different approach for the configuration and provisioning the configuration to the ONT. Yeah, so we have implemented exactly the same as they use for the Calix ONT. So it means that if they want to use HALNy, honestly speaking, they don't even need any documentation or the instruction how to configure it. Yeah, we can just say them, okay, if you have Calix ONT, just give me the model. Okay, this model, you can configure it exactly the same. Yeah, and in terms of the Adtran, of course, we did the same. So we have implemented the same configuration and we have implemented the same features that all the customers uses. Yeah, so to sum up, all of the IOP that is done on the HALNy, on our official firmware, is based on the real network, on the customer requirements and service scenario. Yeah?
And if a customer's got a real world example, we could either do test units and create like a sandbox where we can test a lot of the features in there too.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, exactly. That's fully true. You know what we always propose to our customers. Yeah, even if you, let's say, don't look now for the alternative solution for the third-party ONT and so on. Yeah, believe me, sooner or later there will be situation like it was in the past, like COVID, like right now we have with DZS. There may be problems with the lead times for the legacy products and so on. So it is good to know that, okay, if there is some problem with the legacy products, there is some alternative. We have tested it before, so we can try to ask them to provide us devices. Yeah.
No, it's fantastic. So playing devil's advocate, what makes the HALNy ONT stand out from other products on the market today? And can you quantify that? Is it the hardware? Is it the software? Is it the solution?
I think I can say that it is the total solution, yeah. Because in terms of the hardware, as you can see on our website, everyone can go to the halny.com and check our product portfolio. We have quite a big range of different devices. We have devices with just one LAN port, with 2 ports, 4 ports, with Wi-Fi 5, Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6X, 3000. And so on. So we have, let's say, almost all devices that covers the requirements from the customers from the market. Yeah. In terms of the software, of course, as I said before, we have implemented IOP for different OLT vendors. So we can, because all teams responsible for the development are located on our headquarters in Poland. So all teams are located in Europe, in Poland. And we developed the software from the beginning by ourselves, so we can do everything on our software. Yeah.
So how customizable is this platform from a branding and an NMS integration perspective?
Yeah, so we can refer again to the hardware and software, yeah, because these are, let's say, separate things. So in terms of the hardware, of course, we can customize the product. Of course, we can put the logo of the ISP on our housing. What is more, we had some projects that, for example, we developed the new product based on the customer requirements. Yeah, so in terms of the hardware, it can be fully customized. We can put logo, we can put any additional stickers, we can put additional informations like QR codes for the Wi-Fi and so on. Yeah, every requirement from the customer, we can do it. Yeah, in terms of the software, as I said before, we develop it by ourselves in Poland. So actually we can do everything with it. Yeah, so we can fully customize it for the customer. Of course, with every network device, not only ONT, but as well the Ethernet routers, there is some default configuration. And later on, when you connect, for example, to the OLT, you need to somehow provide the configuration. But we can customize the firmware for the customer, that we can predefine the configuration on the ONT. Yeah. What is more, we can, let's say, customize the web interface. We can put the logo of the ISP, some additional banners, and so on and so on. Yeah. So that's the most common customizations that were requested by our customers. Yeah. Of course, in terms of the customization, it is not related to the configuration, but it can be done as well based on the implementation of the service scenario for the customer, of the implementation to support some SIP server, different SIP servers, to integrate some additional features, and so on and so on. Different ways of the provisioning as well. In terms of the software, we are very flexible, and we are happy to, let's say, customize the product to increase our sale. Yeah?
Excellent. So again, to those on the line, if you do have any type of opportunities, there is private labeling abilities for you, both on software and hardware. So I know that support is always a hot button topic. What does the onboarding and post-support sales support look like?
Yeah, we can divide support for two different scenarios. Let's say every customer, every ISP can visit our website halny.com. On the halny.com there is a page called knowledge base, and from that part of our site, they can check everything related to our software. Yeah, so as you can see on the screen, there is, for example, OLT configuration. So we put there all features descriptions, and including description of the recommended configuration for the different OLT vendors. Yeah, so such informations are available for every people. There is no need to log in or create an account. In terms of the support, we have our help desk system. So such help desk system can be used by our customers. So every our customer can log in there. There is a knowledge base, and from this knowledge base they can download the firmware, the latest firmware version with the changelog. And from this ticketing system, they can request implementation of new feature, implementation of new service scenario, report some questions, and so on and so on. Yeah. So this is the system that is used for the for our current customers. What is more, what we usually do for the new customers, we provide, let's say, pre-sales support as well. Yeah. So it means that when we have a new potential customer, yeah, so for example, if we talk about nowadays situation, so for example, we have customers with the DZS OLTs, and they, for example, contacted with Winncom or contacted with FIBRAIN directly. They ask us, okay, so we have such OLTs and we use such ONTs from DZS, so do you have anything in offer that you can provide us? And later on, we, during the discussion with the customer, we can support him to prepare our firmware to be compatible with their network, yeah, to support the same scenario as they use on the network. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, just to reiterate a little bit, sorry, just to just add on what Matthias mentioned. So it's basically on the pre-sales support, what we do is basically, as Matthias mentioned, we engage with the end customer to actually prepare the firmware. So there's a POC concept done, and so pre-testing done by the customer to ensure everything is fine. So we have dedicated team, as Matthias mentioned, to do this proof of concept, yeah, just to help him customize his solution.
And I can say from a Winncom perspective, we've gone through this already with several customers. So it starts with a consultative conversation. You've got DZS model XYZ. We cross that out to a fully featured product from HALNy, provide that, samples are provided, conversations are had, and then again, we have that testing environment. But the goal from both companies is to ensure that it's as quick and as seamless as humanly possible.
I fully agree with that. Just one thing from my side, please note that it doesn't mean that for every customer we prepare the customized firmware, yeah, because usually our official firmware release covers most of the customer service scenario. So it means that in many cases, when customer contacted with us, we send the devices for test, and they just need the latest official firmware version to make it work. Yeah. So even any customization on the pre-sale stage, it's not needed. Yeah.
So as close to plug and play as possible. Nice.
That's true.
So I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this question. Are there any hidden costs that our customers should be aware of if they're looking to switch from DZS to your solution?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, honestly speaking, in our case, there are no any hidden costs. Yeah, what is more, as I described before, there is this help desk system. So basically, there are no any restrictions to download the official firmware version. Yeah, so every our customer have support for free, and every our customer can download the firmware version for free. Yeah, there are no any additional fees for the software upgrade. As we know, our competitors, some of our competitors, they have some licensing program for the firmware upgrade. In our case, there is no any hidden license. Yeah, everything is for free. And what is more, as I described before, if we do one of the IOP for one customer, it goes to the official release. So it means that many other customers can use this additional IOP for free.
Nice. So let's say we have a customer looking to transition. Can you walk us through what that would look like? In particular, how you assist and help them reduce integration costs during this transition?
You know, actually, of course, the most important thing is here to prepare the proof of concept. Yeah, as Mohan said before. Yeah, so basically, as much as we discussed at the beginning, then the fastest will be to support the customer service scenario. Yeah, because based on such a detailed service scenario, the provisioning way, the configuration they use on the OLT, what is the billing system, and so on, how everything works together. Based on such information, we can answer to customer, okay, you can use our official firmware version because it's already supported, or if something is missing, or for example we can add some additional feature or additional service scenario, we can immediately prepare, let's say, some test version for the customer, and later on when he tests it, we will go with the official firmware release, yeah, with such implementation.
Perfect. So up
and
to
just to add a little bit part of the support which Mateus mentioned. Of course, the support is free of charge, is included in the pricing of the ONT, so that's right. But there are some specific customer who request SLA contract, yeah, because they would like to have some priority hours for them. So that is also possible. So we have a dedicated contract based on request. So customers able to actually let us know how many hours they need our engineers. So then we provide them with this dedicated contract. But a part of that, most of the customers are, till now, we didn't see any customer who signed any SLA specific agreement with us. So the support is in best effort. So it worked till now. Just to add that.
No, thank you for clarifying.
Exactly.
Yeah. So up to now, we talked about almost exclusively ONTs and how your agnostic solution, we're talking about DZS in particular, but works with a host of other partners. From an OLT perspective, right, the other side of that coin, I know you've partnered with Dasan Korea to offer that DZS OLT. How does that work? And what kind of support or warranty or continuity can customers expect?
You know, honestly speaking, this is why I described at the beginning the facts about the DZS company, yeah, because honestly speaking, our journey of the active devices department in FIBRAIN, we started as the official distributor of DZS network solution. Yeah, so it was so since 2011 we are official distributor of the DZS network solutions. Even if they later on merged with Zone, so we were still official distributor of DZS. And nowadays, because as you may know, last year on April or on March, DZS sold DZS Asia division to DZS network solution. Yeah. So, and the DZS network solution was still present. And what is more, they were responsible for the OLT series from V series. Yeah. So this velocity series. So, and we as a FIBRAIN, we are from the beginning the distributor of this V series of the OLTs. Yeah. And honestly speaking, right now, after this chapter 7, we are switching back from DZS Europe to DZS network solution, and within I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we are going back to, let's say, continuity of service with providing the OLTs for our customers. I talked about the distribution of the OLTs. Of course, I didn't mention that we were official distributors in Central and East Europe. So we have distribution contract for around 17 countries. Of course, we could sell DZS products as well abroad to different countries, different continents, but based on the project. Yeah, so we had to register the project to sell the devices. Yeah.
So if a customer is in EMEA, if they're in CALA, if they're in the United States, we can help you both on that agnostic ONT and with the DZS OLT from DZS solution. So just to kind of specify that. So Mateus, from your perspective, what's the safest and most cost-effective path forward for operators that have a DZS heavy network?
You know, honestly speaking, I think that first of all, the customers need to secure the business. So it means that they need to still provide the services for the currently connected customers. Yeah, and later on, the next step is, of course, to connect the new customers. Of course, is to connect as soon as possible the new customers. Yeah, if they don't have a stock for the legacy products, for the legacy ONTs from DZS, for example, they need to look as soon as possible for the alternative. Yeah, so the best solution, as we discussed already on this webinar, is to look for the interoperable ONTs that will give them flexibility to later on migrate the OLT from DZS to another vendor. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So I'm a huge fan of lessons learned. Do you have any recent examples you could showcase of service providers who have successfully transitioned from HALNy or FIBRAIN products? And again, what lessons can others learn from that shared experience?
Yeah, actually, I have such example from let's say last few months. We had a project together with Winncom, with one of the customer, which was, let's say, very fast project. Yeah, because the customer contacted with us like as I remember 2 months ago, and later on we had a meeting with the customer. Of course, during this meeting we described what devices they use on the network, what are the OLTs, what are the ONT models. Later on, we have a meeting with description about the service scenario they use. They provide us full of informations, how they provision the configuration, what is the configuration on the OLT, what services they use, if they use internet, voice over IP, or IPTV multicast, or any other types of services. What are another requirements, for example, in terms of the security. Yeah, and later on, within few days, few weeks, we send the devices for test. We have prepared the customized firmware for that customer. Customer was testing such firmware for a week, and later on he decided, okay, that's the perfect solution for me. They did it very quickly, and they were very happy with that, with the, let's say, way how we support, how we do it, and they just put us on an order. Yeah.
Yes, it was a fantastic opportunity. And again, for those on the line, we'd love to assist you in a very similar way. So again, if you have any opportunities or any pain points within your network of not being able to get products, ONTs on time, we do have a very viable solution for you with a very quick turnaround time and a team dedicated to enable your success. So Mateus, are there any common pitfalls you've seen operators fall into during this transition? And is there anything they can do to proactively avoid them?
Yeah, you know, there are a few points that I have met that, let's say, it was not done on the right way, because, let's say, as one of the example from the customer, customer was in a rush to replace all DZS products, and he decided, okay, we want to go with HALNy, that's for sure, but we want to replace as well the OLT, yeah, and we want to start the replacement from the OLT, yeah. And you know, it was quite tough discussion about this, to convince them that, okay, but if you want to replace the OLT, you cannot disconnect all of your customers from one OLT and later on switch to the new vendor, yeah, because it takes time, yeah, it takes time with the replacement, it takes time with the reconnections and so on and so on, all that physical stuff, yeah. So finally we convinced them that, okay, please wait with the replacement of the OLT. Of course, you can look for the OLT vendor, you can start the discussion about the prices, about the quotation and so on, but first of all, please continue the service for your customers that you have, that are already connected, and start to connect new customers with the new ONT devices, yeah, using the same OLT vendor, yeah, that is already on the network. Yeah, so in such way they will have time to choose what the new OLT vendor, and what is more, if they don't go such way but replace OLT at first, that means that they will have, for example, somehow connect the DZS ONT to the new vendor, and I'm pretty sure that it will not work. Yeah. So this is why what we always recommend to all our customers: if you have, if you want to replace devices on your network, or if you are going to build a new network, yeah, if you want to choose devices to your network, please start with the ONTs. Please look for the interoperable ONTs, and later on ask this ONT vendor to give you the list of the supported OLT vendors, yeah, because in such way, as much as possible OLT vendors are supported, you have flexibility for the future to migrate between different OLT vendors, yeah, because, you know, in such situation you can easily replace the OLT or move to another one if you have, let's say, better offer for, or better quotation for another vendor, yeah.
Yeah, so it keeps them more price competitive and less susceptible to lead times. Yeah, I think all great points. So I know we're coming to the end of this. Looking ahead, what's next for FIBRAIN and the HALNy product? Are there innovations on the horizon? Anything you could talk about here today that will help our customers stay competitive and agile?
Yeah, of course, we are still going to let's say, extend the interoperability of our firmware of our all products. So we are going to add additional features, and especially additional service scenario to our firmware. That's for sure. If we are talking about the new devices on our roadmap, so for sure we already released the new XGS-PON models. One which is called HLX SFPX, which is, let's say, XGS-PON stick. Another one is XGS PON ONT with one voice over IP and one 10 gig LAN port. Of course, we are under the development of the most popular nowadays ONTs with Wi-Fi 7. So this is something that will happen this year, and we are under the development of the ONTs with the power over Ethernet on the LAN ports. Yeah. So this is our plan for this year.
Fantastic. So just to kind of tee this up for next steps, what customers should kind of expect. So we'll send out a copy of this presentation. So you'll get a copy of the slides, and then you'll get the video presentation. It's a YouTube link that'll most likely go out to you tomorrow. And then I'll reach out to you as well if there's anything we can do. If you've got DZS opportunities or Calix or Adtran, we can help put together that apples to apples comparison, and we can talk in depth about what your opportunity is. So again, I want to take this opportunity and thank FIBRAIN for taking the time. I thought this was fantastic and very, very informative. Mateus, Mohan, again, great job. And then for those of you on the line, please just let us know how we could be of assistance. We're here to help. That's all I have from my end. Anything you guys like to add?
Yeah, thank you, Alex, once again for organizing this session. It was a pleasure to share our experience as well, and we look forward to help many more of the customers coming forward.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys.